This week's lab is called the identification of a compound, and we're going to be working with aqueous solutions, and we're going to be looking at how they react in a special reaction plate. It's called a 24-well microplate. And we're going to be using three primary reactants: lead nitrate, sodium hydroxide, and hydrochloric acid, and we're going to be testing how they behave when they're mixed with five other reagents: sodium chloride, sodium carbonate, magnesium sulfate, ammonium chloride, and DI water. And on the basis of the reactions that you observe, you're going to figure out then the identity of our two unknowns, which of course are one of the five different reactants. You're told then to sort of start by collecting a fair amount of your three primary reactants. Notice I've got here three test tubes that are labeled lead nitrate, sodium hydroxide, and hydrochloric acid, and three disposable pipettes. And I'm just going to use one for the purposes of this video demo. I'll put a few milliliters of lead nitrate into my test tube. Remember that it's like a salad bar. You can always go get more, but you can't put any back once you take it. So I'll put one of my disposable pipettes in there, and this then will stay with that lead nitrate. Then you're directed to take your 24-well microplate and walk down the line of our reagents, putting a milliliter or so into each one of the wells, starting over in the upper left with well A1, and then the second one in A2, and then the third one, magnesium sulfate, in A3, and then ammonium chloride in A4, and then a little DI water in A5. And you want to be really careful to not get things contaminated. Note that they're all colorless solutions, so you got to pay a fair amount of attention. And then, getting your test tube of primary reagent, you're going to put a few drops of each in each of those wells, noting your reaction. You see that first well produced a white solid. The second well produced another white solid. The third well, magnesium sulfate, produced yet another white solid. The fourth well with ammonium chloride produced another white solid, and that final well, DI water, there is no reaction. So then you're going to make careful notes on the back of your lab sheet of what you observed. In this case, the formation of a white precipitate. Note both the color and the finding. And then you're going to take your well plate, and most students now like to kind of clean that out before they start again by just dumping it into the largest kind of beaker that you have and washing all of those precipitates out, so you can start fresh with the next reagent, which in this case would be sodium hydroxide. Maybe take a paper towel, clean it out a little bit, go back, put your five reagents in the first five wells or the second five wells, and then do exactly the same procedure with the second primary reagent, sodium hydroxide. Rinse, repeat with hydrochloric acid, and fill out your table on the back of the lab sheet. And then when you're all done with those, you can do one final test using our two unknowns with our three primary reagents, and you should be able to figure out the identity of those. It'll be one of these five based on the reactions that you observe.